What is going on, YouTube? I'm Brandon. You are back in the Gills Trap Garage, and we've got a problem with the dyno. I'm going to insert a clip here real quick so you can hear what it sounds like. Now it's time to figure out what's going on with that. Before I go extreme and tear apart this whole primary and assume the worst case scenario, we're going to start simple. What I have a feeling it is something related with the weights that I have on my clutch. I have one of those like variable pressure clutch plates or discs. I don't really know what to call the thing. Never really liked it since I've installed it, but I've kept it. So we're going to tear apart the primary cover first, see if that's part of our issue. The next thing, if it's not there, I'm going to take off the inspection cover here and check my chain tension. And I hope it's one of those things, but I guess it could be a few things. I wasn't doing anything extreme when it happened. I had my daughter on the back of the bike with me. We were cruising along, and I heard it. It just sounded like something was dragging. I went to shut the bike off when I got to where we're going. It stopped as soon as I started to kill it. Restarted it. The noise is gone. Rode it home. It was doing it again. So here we are. I'm going to set up some light. We've got the garage closed because I've got a new air conditioner in here. It's like 90 degrees outside, and it's about 72 in the garage. So sacrificing a little bit of light here, not having the garage open, but I'll fix that soon. That'll be the next project. Let's set you up on the tripod. Let's grab some tools, and let's figure out what's happening with the dyno. I'm remembering now that the last time I went to tighten these, one of these was about to strip, and I think it may have. Oh, I got it. I'm really hoping it's something simple here because I had a ride that I wanted to go on Wednesday. Nothing out of the ordinary with this. I don't see anything that looks like it's rubbing. So I guess we'll go to the next step. I'm going to take my shifter off. It could be my tensioner. My tensioner could have broke. My compensator could have broke. I could be having a problem with my stator. My red light's been on, but I've been assuming it's because of my turn signals. Every once in a while I'm getting the red light coming on because I deleted all my turn signals and it's looking for a signal that it's not receiving. And I just assumed it was doing that again, but maybe it was trying to tell me something else. Maybe there's a problem with my stator. Unlikely, but possible. The tensioner looks to be intact. And the tension on the chain feels decent. Well, crap. I wonder what it is then. I guess we'll open up the primary completely. Let's see if our oil is full of metal. It's just oil only has about 1,000 miles on it. It looks a little discolored. Now I have a ton of crap on my pan, which I guess I could have wiped it off a little bit. It's definitely shiny. So I guess when we get this cover off, it'll be pretty obvious, maybe, on what the rubbing noise is. I was really hopeful for an easy one. Oh, it looks like my starter was staying engaged. See the teeth on the flywheel. That sucks because that's a pretty new starter. I mean, the flywheel looks toast now, but see if you guys can see what I see. The back side of this, you can see the teeth are grinding down. I just wish I could prove it. To have an issue with my ignition switch. Oh, I'm still splashing oil all over my stuff, dang it. So in the primary here, right here, right where my light's at, I've got some noticeable wear. It's rough, you can feel it with your fingertip. But what I don't understand is I don't see anything matching that on the primary side. Or on the compensator side, I should say. I think I might pop this cover off. I just don't see it. I'm not noticing any wear on my chain. It's just hard to say. I don't know. Let's go after the compensator. Let's see what the comp looks like. Okay, there's some obvious crap in here. And it is consistent with the color of my my little weights that I don't like. Slight discoloration on the ramps of my compensator. Okay, well, it looks like we're tearing down further. So now I have to undo the adjustment on my clutch. I might be able to snake it out without doing that quite yet. Let's see. It's do as I say, not as I do. Get the tool to lock that clutch hub in instead of putting your hands in the way there. And now you should be ready to slide the rest of this off. What are we gonna find? We're gonna find a broken magnet? Are we gonna find nothing? Seriously, nothing? Could it be in my transmission? Sure sounded like it was the primary side, but I don't really like that. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Pretty consistent with making a noise in the same spot. Last thing I'm gonna do for today, before I shut her down, is I'm gonna pull this pulley off, and I'm gonna be ready to check the run out on that pinion tomorrow. I don't think it's my problem, but I do want to check that bearing. I can't believe I haven't really found anything definitive. It's a little odd to me. I'm trying to do this without taking the belt tension off. I guess I'm gonna have to check the book for some specs too, because God, I really just don't know. Did I go too far? Did I take it down too far? With the way everything came apart, I don't think this is bent, but sure looks like it. I guess time will tell. I'll know tomorrow. I'm gonna put the covers back on just so I don't fill all this stuff up with dust. I may take this top assembly off when I'm back at this and look down at it from the top, kind of inspect all the gear sets. I might drain my oil so I can get a good look at everything. I don't know here. And then it goes back to that flywheel assembly. You know, is it my flywheel assembly? Here's some food for thought too, is that noise did not increase with RPM. It did not change in any gear. It was consistent in neutral, which tells me it would have to be from this point outward. And again, that clutch basket, you know, the way that's grooved up, it's fresh, but there wasn't, I mean, there's definitely a little bit of metal in that oil, but there almost always is when you drain your primary. That clunking, it doesn't seem, so this is neutral. I'm not thrilled about it. That's first. There's more there, but it's not a gear issue. I'll think about it. I'll read about it. Yeah, but if anything, it's a good excuse to clean everything up real well. All right, so the dyna's in a little bit different condition from when we left off on it. I realized after I quit working on the bike, and it's been about a week now, I was extreme in my diag. I don't even remember the things I was saying in the video. I don't remember what my thought process was, but I was going to lay down that night and I started thinking, I've gone too crazy. So I narrowed it down to this. When the bike was making the noise, it did not change with the RPM, with the load on the bike, rolling, moving, didn't change with any of that stuff. So what I'm thinking is that something was causing the starter to engage, and it was making contact with the flywheel. Not making contact, the gears weren't meshing, but I believe because the flywheel was spinning, which I've already replaced I've already put the clutch basket in the new housing. That's part of what we're doing here today, resuming. But you can see the wear in the teeth here, right? So basically the only thing that would cause that would be the gear here on the starter trying to engage, but not making it into the teeth here, right? Like it was just getting stuck right here as this flywheel was running around. That's my theory. And that's only my theory because I haven't been able to find anything else. I have not seen the smoking gun. But based off of that theory there, let's say that is what's happening, that's what's causing. I believe, I'm about 90% confident that that is what was making the noise. That is new wear from the last time I've had this basket apart. That's what I think it is. So what could cause that? Well, in order for that to happen, this wire right here would have to get power. Because when you go to hit your ignition on your normal Harley, it'd be up here, start, you know, hit the start button. That's going to send power to this wire. And that's what's going to tell the solenoid, or that's what's going to energize the solenoid and basically crank your bike over, right? So what could we be doing that is giving this power in order to make that move? Well, I've installed a new ignition switch here, right? I know that I have new parts on this motorcycle. Is there a chance that this ignition switch is failing, or that I've made an error in installation and it thinks that this thing is rolled over further than it is? So I started looking at that, and there's only one wire that goes to the circuit to start here. And when I started tracing that wire back, I found that it wasn't ran ideally, right? I put this thing together and I didn't route that wire well. So I peeled everything back. I took the battery box off, I took the fuse panel down, I rolled it all back, and I got myself a good look at all the wires. And I traced that wire back basically as far as I can go. And I traced it back about as far as I had touched it, let's say that. You know, like remove the old sheathing and everything. And I started checking real close at where it was wrapping around other wires, you know, kind of weaving in and out and going into the main harness. Peeled it all the way back. I can't find any short, like at all. Can't find anything that would be causing that wire to get power. So then I started doing the same thing here. I started tracing this wire back, and if you peel this sheathing back, it's a green wire, and it doesn't go up very far. It comes up here, and it basically goes into all the wires for your ECM, your BCM, whatever you want to call them. Everything on the fuse block. I can't find a short there. So then I take this wire that when it's energized, these both sit on top of the starter. When this is hot, that's what powers your whole bike. That's what, you know, you get all your accessory lights, you get everything. So I put power here and check to see if I'm getting any kind of voltage at my ignition switch, to see if the ignition switch failed. Not failing, cannot get it to recreate. I cannot get voltage at this wire to show up until I hit my ignition. So I guess I don't understand, right? Then I'm thinking, you know, this starter that I bought, it was a cheap starter. I bought it because it was chrome, and I wanted a chrome starter on my motorcycle. But I'm thinking there's a possibility that this is shorting internally. And I haven't checked this yet. I haven't proved this one yet. But it's a good possibility that this is shorting internally and it's taking battery power and it's trying to run that starter. It would have to be intermittently. I don't know how plausible that part is. But what I'm trying to say here is I do not have the smoking gun. And I put myself in a position where I'm changing too many variables at once. Like it takes a lot to tear this down and check this. So what I'm going to do, without absolutely being able to 100% solve the problem, I have my old starter here, and I know this is good. It's a good starter, genuine HD. I'm going to clean this up. The only problem with it is it's not chrome. So I'm going to be changing multiple variables here, which I don't like because I don't get to prove my problem. But I know what I've done. I've routed my wires better. I will be putting in the old, good known starter. And that doesn't leave me with a whole lot. If I continue to have a problem with it after that, well, I run the risk of ruining my new flywheel. But there's a couple other possibilities. It could be my relay shorting. You know, if that relay shorts out, if it makes contact, that could very well be sending 12 volts down to this wire here, causing it to engage. I have extra relays, but I want to know what the problem is. I don't like getting this far into something and just going, I don't know, I'm going to put these parts on it and hope it stops. That's not really how I operate. But all in all, I realized I went pretty extreme in my diag. I mean, I had the top of the transmission cover off. I started doing a lot of things that I try to avoid doing. You got to kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, stupid. And going this far into it was not necessary. I did not need to take the inner primary out. I needed to take the outer primary off so I can check the condition. Of course, I know that I needed to replace that flywheel because the flywheel's chewed up. I could have probably got by with it, you know, clean the oil flush it, whatever. The part wasn't cheap, but you know, I don't want that. I don't want those junk parts in my bike. So we're gonna start getting ready to get back together with it now. But before I do that, you'll notice I took my pulley off. I took the back wheel off. Part of taking the back wheel off was to check some of the wiring in this little window here, make sure I don't have any rub spots. But I bought myself a little something to make all the extra work that I did here that I didn't need to do. It's kind of worth it. If you can read that. We're going to put a chain kit on the bike. So, kind of escalated, kind of, you know, started with a simple problem and I turned it into a much larger scale project. But hey, by the end of this, hopefully we've stopped the grinding noise in the primary and we're going to have a pretty cool chain kit. So, I'm going to get the front sprocket on. I'm going to get the rear sprocket on. And we'll start pulling out all the tools and running a chain kit on this thing. So it's not all for nothing. I really just wish I had the smoking gun for that primary problem. And then of course, while it's off too, I'm going to be spending a little bit of time cleaning everything up. I need to lube up my kickstand here. And you see it's all full of gunk. It makes a noise every time I go to put it down. It drives me crazy. So we'll get all this stuff cleaned up too. So I just slid this sprocket on. This is going to get red Loctite. These are lefty tighty. So you can literally pick up this tool at Amazon. I've got this 5-speed and the 6-speed. Great to have. The locking plate bolts are going to be 84 to 108 inch-pounds. That way doesn't work. That way doesn't work. Flip it. That way will work right there. So when you're going to line that up, you can flip it backwards, forward, do whatever. You can find the grooves there. Those are going to be these bolts right here. We need some blue Loctite. All right, let's get up. Let's get set up to break down the rear wheel, get the new drive sprocket on the rear, and mount the rear wheel back up on the bike. Then we'll set our chain, then we'll build the primary back up. No way we're getting done before dark today, but hey, it's gonna be worth it. Hoping to ride tomorrow, so we're gonna push through. All right, we're gonna clean the face of that hub up, get all that grease and everything off of there. All right, I got the back wheel on, and I've backed my threads out all the way on my adjuster to shove the axle all the way forward. And that's gonna help account for the chain stretching over time. That's gonna give us basically this much adjustment left in it. I'm gonna make sure I've got my spacing pretty well close. It lines up with that back sprocket. Now we're gonna take our chain. It's gonna be expected to be long. We're gonna have to cut it down to size. This is a greasy chain. This is going to have to be cleaned before we run the snot out of it. I think if I take one more link out, it's gonna sag too much. This is the one I want to punch out. And here's how we do it. So we've got this Motion Pro. It's a rivet and press tool. I'm gonna have to take a grinder, and we're gonna grind that off right there. We're gonna see if we can do this on the bike. I'd say the Motion Pro is probably an industry leader for all chain drive tools. Very affordable. I broke a lot of the pieces out of this kit on some of the smaller chains, and I think with how well it's been used, I should probably consider replacing it. I mean, I've done, I don't know how many chain drive kits. I've definitely got my money's worth out of it. And then bicycle chains, I mean, just all of it. There's the pin, it's out. The O-ring came out on both sides. Alright, I don't know how much of that audio I lost because I didn't have this thing plugged in all the way. But our chain tool here has this rod that goes through it, and it'll point right down at your sprocket, and you'll use that to kind of keep it in line. It actually makes it really easy to see how far left or right you are. So, well, first we're gonna get the chain close to about how far out we want it. I gotta loosen this Rear axle's torqued. Retaining clip is in. I'm going to pull this off. Very first time I bought one of these, I left it hooked up on the bike and I rolled it off the lift, smashed it, and broke this little plastic screw, which I'm glad they make a plastic. I'm sure they do it for that reason. You know what, I know I said I was going to be done for the night, but I think I'm going to slam this inner primary together. I don't think there's much for me to show you. I've done it 100 other times in videos, probably not that many, but I've done it before in videos. I don't necessarily know that I need to show it now. I work a little faster, I think, if I just knock it out. So, here we go. I might have screwed up my audio again. I honestly don't know. I hope I didn't. I hope this whole video is not trash because I continuously lose audio. But in case that's what's going on, I just got back from a test ride on this thing, and went great. It was, I don't know, 4 miles. By the time I was riding 4 miles the last time, it was making this crazy noise. So, bottom line, if all that previous audio was lost, I ended up having to reuse the starter that I had on there because I had misplaced the hardware for the old starter. I bench tested this thing many times to make sure that it wasn't staying engaged, and after or during bench testing, I had discovered that my theories were impossible or incorrect for this reason here. I said that maybe this solenoid was starting in this. I said that maybe the solenoid was shorting out in this starter, taking battery power and basically engaging the starter, but that couldn't happen because this only pulls in when this circuit is energized. This coil will energize, will pull this in, that'll take your battery power, jump it from this terminal here, it's your battery power, make contact through this, and then it will energize the rest of the starter motor. So, incorrect theories. Bench tested my starter many times, had it all apart. It is making a little weird noise. It's probably because of the new flywheel. Let's see if it still does it. It's a little loud on startup. I don't care for that crazy grinding noise. I don't know what to do about that other than just ride the thing. My chain tension might be, I think I'm happy with chain tension. I'm going to leave it about there. I don't feel like any looser than that, I worry I'm going to hit the footrest or the top of the swing arm. Any tighter than that, and we're going to start tearing stuff up. So I think we're good there. Checking it over, I'll probably recheck my alignment, but it looks like we're pretty centered up. Just based off of what I can see here, I'm going to have to clean it a little better. I want to get some of that old grease off and get some actual chain and cable lube on it. You can kind of see we're flinging a little bit, like actually a lot of grease in there. It's going to start flinging all up here. So I didn't show this part. I found this locker and I took all the bolts back off of this and I put this on and I completely butchered it. I'm going to be ordering a new one of these and replacing it because I would really like to be able to run this locker, but this looks absolutely terrible. So not happy with that, but it's not permanent. It'll give me a chance to monitor it, I think, a little bit too. So thank you guys for watching. If you wouldn't mind supporting the merch, supporting the Patreon, those things help fund the projects like this, keep this going, take us on another adventure. They do all that fun stuff. But if you're not interested in doing any of that, thank you for sticking around, watching the videos, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. Send this video to someone you know. That's the best thing you can do for me. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. Now, let's go out and have some fun on our motorcycles. They ain't meant to live in the garage. They're meant to be out on the streets. Hey, look at the mileage check. 67,001. The goal on this thing is 100K. I don't know if I'm going to make it that far before I put a 95 kit in it, but go ride your bike, have fun, be safe, be reckless, be whatever you want to be. Go have fun with motorcycles.